Hello and welcome back to the Information Station. Today we're here with special guest Kayla, the reader of Housing First, Ending Homelessness, Transforming Systems, and Changing Lives. Glad to be here. Glad to have you. So, Kayla, for those of us that are not up to date on this social project, can you tell us a little bit about what Housing First is? Absolutely. Housing First is a new approach to ending homelessness, originally proposed by Sam Sembers. The goal is to eliminate the problem of homelessness around the world and stop simply providing minimal aid to those that suffer from this circumstance. There have been many programs in the past trying to help with homelessness. What makes this one different? That is a great question. The biggest difference is the fact that Housing First focuses on helping those who other programs would not. This group of people is predominantly those that suffer from mental illness. The approach this program takes to solving homelessness is also different. The previously universal approach to ending homelessness was a method that can be thought of as a staircase. What I mean by this is that homeless individuals may continue to work on steps of increasing difficulty in hopes of reaching the top staircase. This top step being that they have a personal permanent residence. These steps include things such as moving into community living centers with rehabilitation programs for those with mental disabilities and addiction issues. They are required to follow the strict rules of the housing facilities as well as comply with any programs they be put into. If they don't follow any of these rules, they will be kicked out of the program. Doesn't sound right at all. The creators of Housing First didn't think so either. They proposed a program in which they supply the homeless with personal housing as the first step. Once they are housed, then they have access to rehabilitation services that they may need. However, this housing does not have such mandatory rules like sobriety as the other programs. This program promotes harm reduction rather than stressing the need for abstinence. This has been a major part of the backlash against the program. Why might this be? Many people have the belief that if these homeless individuals are not prevented from utilizing substances, they will take advantage of the system. Yet, we have found the opposite. Once they are housed, they have a feeling of self-worth and responsibility. They want to feel like they belong in the newfound situation that they've been given. You mentioned earlier the hope to eliminate homelessness around the world. What areas has this program already covered? This program can be found mainly in cities, but has also been implemented with success in rural areas. It was developed and originated in New York, and soon after its success there, spread around the nation as the new approach to ending homelessness. Now it is being used in Canada, France, Scotland, and even Portugal. Several spin-offs of the program are also being used in various parts of the world. Sembers spent his career in New York developing and testing the program. He then later traveled to several other areas to train those who wanted to initiate his program in their area. And what marked the success of this program that made other areas want to follow suit? Before the official recognition of Housing First, the program was known as Pathways Housing First. This program had a very similar layout to that of Housing First and embraced all the same values. Pathways Housing First went through extensive testing during the New York Housing Study. The study lasted 4 years, beginning in 1997. It both evaluated the program's success rates from varying angles, as well as comparing it to other programs already put in place. This is rather odd of a social help project, but the creators of Housing First wanted to guarantee that this program was beneficial to the communities where it would be implemented. Because of this testing is part of why the program was able to attain government funding and eventually become the approach to solving homelessness that the government fully endorsed. It sounds like this program has done a lot of good. In the foreground of the program, did Sembers foresee or hope to be recognized as an innovator for this incredible project? Obviously, he had hoped that the program would be successful, but that hope stemmed from the fact that he wanted to help people, not necessarily he wanted the recognition. An innovator is a very interesting word to describe him. How might Housing First qualify as an innovation? Housing First is more of a social innovation. It was something developed to better the world. It also came about because Sembers saw the need to look at how we were approaching the problem from a totally new angle. In fact, he completely flipped the way of thinking on its head. And what made him realize this need? Have you ever wondered why there are so many homeless individuals laying on the streets when you visit a city? Wondering why, if there's so many programs in place to help them, why are there so many out there? And why do some of them say obscene things as they stare off into space? Some wondered the same thing. Turns out many of the aid programs were not willing to help those labeled as chronically homeless, which is very unfortunate because these are the people who needed help the most. There clearly needed to be a change, and who better to ask than those that needed help? It is hard to sell a product to the intended market if they are not interested in what you have produced. In this case, the product is the recovery and aid services, and the homeless are the consumers. This mindset is emphasized in the book Housing First by the fact that homeless individuals are referred to as clients rather than those in need of help. When asking people what they want in a program, their list must be very large. How is Housing First able to accommodate for all of these requests? When you truly look at what they're asking for, it boils down to the fact that they want freedom and security. They don't need extravagant amenities, they just want a place to call their own. Once Housing First gives this to them, they can focus on helping themselves and reaching out to programs they feel they need to regain full independence and repair old relationships. Tenants placed by the Housing First program are expected to contribute 30% of their income to funding their housing, and the rest is covered by the program. This provides them with a sense of responsibility, but not a burden, and this contribution also helps to ensure that the program may fund as many people as possible. Many people who participate in the program also return as staff. And where are these houses coming from? How does the community have the resources to support a program like Housing First? Housing First actually works with many individual landlords in order to acquire enough housing. Many landlords enjoy being a part of the program because they know that the rent will be paid and Housing First will take care of any issues that the tenants may have. That is just fantastic. Now, I would like to show you, our audience, some of the houses that Housing First has been able to provide for its clients. Isn't that amazing? I know in this short time hearing about your description of the program, I feel like I've learned so much about homelessness and about the mentality that should be around the solutions for it. Absolutely. This book is filled with facts that really put the issue into perspective. There was not only an issue with homelessness, but how we were trying to fix it. The innovative thinking of the creators of Housing First is inspiring. They had to be willing to go against the norm in order to create a positive impact. I would recommend this book to anyone that is interested in understanding how to approach a problem that is already well known and find a totally new perspective. It also contains so much good information on the issues of homelessness and the approaches we should take to fix it. Alright, this interview is coming to a close, but we are going to take one question from one of our viewers. I'm from a design thinking class at Grand Valley, and I was wondering what UN bucket you think this book might fit under. It actually just so happens that I'm very well acquainted with those. I would say that this issue well fits into good health and well-being, as the book discusses the effects of homelessness on mental health as well as physical health, and vice versa. It also fits into sustainable cities and communities, as it discusses the fact that we need to supply affordable housing to everybody. Alright, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.